The Trapdoor Springfield, of course, goes back to Erskine S. Allen in 1866, but the gun that we see most commonly today is the Model 1884.
The 1884 Springfield is really the culmination of all the development work that had gone into making what was known as the trapdoor system. The system starts back in 1865 when the U.S. government, like everybody else in the world, realized that the days of muzzle-loading rifled muskets is over, and you really need to have a breech-loading standard military arm.
The reason that they decided to make the 1884 Springfield was that in the late 1870s, there had been some trialing and some experimentation and some design changes made to the original 1873, and those were enough that the U.S. Ordnance Department decided that, we really should designate these as being separate from the original 73 Springfield. Now, the receiver design is pretty much identical. The only thing that really separates the 1884 Springfield receiver and the 73 Springfield receiver are the markings themselves. Otherwise, they're virtually the same.
It was pretty clear that a rifle that could take a metallic cartridge was way better than a muzzleloader. With a metallic cartridge, you have your primer, your powder, and your ball, all in one self-contained cartridge case. At this point, 1865, 1866, you're looking at rimfire. And so the cartridge would go into the back, and then the gun would be fired, and then there'd have to be a means to extract it. There were various systems. The British had the Snyder conversion for the excellent Enfield rifle. The French had a system called a tabatière. Erskine S. Allen's design was very clever, and that is the breech would be sectioned off, and then a block would be put in, and it would hinge towards the front. You'd hit the release and push it forward. It would hinge forward, extract a case if it's in there, and then you can put another one in, close it, cock the hammer, and fire. That's your Trapdoor Springfield.
In 1884, the big change was to have the Buffington rear sight. Up to this point, all the rear sights were fixed in terms of windage. Well, Buffington developed this sight that it worked on an erratic worm screw, and it's a marksman's delight. In fact, it was later used as the basis for the Model 1903 Springfield.
You see a lot of these guns with a rod bayonet equipped on them. And this is, in the opinions of some collectors, this is even another sub-variant of a sub-variant of the Trapdoor Springfield called the Model 1888. But this was also an invention from Lieutenant Colonel Adelbert Buffington. He devised a way to combine the cleaning rod that was seen in the earlier 1873 with a bayonet. And so that's the combination that you see in this unique rod bayonet rifle.
These guns were used in considerable numbers in the Indian Wars. They used them also in the Spanish-American War. Perhaps not the strongest action, but perfectly adequate for the cartridge for which it was designed. All of the Trapdoor Springfields were nice guns. They were good guns. They were effective guns. They were accurate guns and reliable guns. And the 1884 is probably the best of the batch, just because of its sophisticated sighting arrangement.